Let's go.
Said it's your boy, P Original, Mr. Influential. Hot topic conversation, stimulate your mental. Two cool brothers, same father, same mother. If you're looking for a show like this, you'll never find another. Why? Cause it's the Porch Podcast to come on. Yeah, said it's the Porch Podcast. Yup, said it's the Porch Podcast to come on. Yeah, said it's the Porch Podcast.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy, EJE, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother, man.
P Original, baby. Welcome back, y'all. You know, as we say each and every week, you could have been anywhere in the world with us. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Slipping on the lips tonight. You know what I mean?
Slipping
Pause.
on the lips.
Pause.
Whoa, this is. I see what kind of day it's about to be.
Yeah.
Already?
I slipped. You know what I'm saying?
We're on the lips?
Yeah. Yeah. Want to hear it again? It's just what happened. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Jesus.
You
You
see that? With
greens
you see them right there with them super nice shades or whatever you
Yeah.
got
Oh,
on?
yeah. I got my shades on today. What's up, everybody? I'm chilling today. Got, the goats here today. The goat. This is Merlin. Merlin's been cooped up in the house, man. Bring Merlin
Really?
back outside. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Nah.
must be nice, man. Y'all know how we do each and every week, man. We like to start off by seeing how each other's been. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, before we greet y'all, we like to greet each other.
Right.
E, how's your week been, brother? Since the last time we
Week's been
spoke
great, man.
on the show, we speak all the time.
Yeah, week's been great. Kind of a chill. We got a gig Thursday, but we was at the Smokehouse. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I was about to say, promote it, man. We gotta get it out there.
1911 Smokehouse each and every Thursday is ladies' night, and we're also doing karaoke.
Right.
So y'all come on down, man. We gonna have a good time this week. Bring a friend, tell a friend to bring a friend. Come on out. We gonna have a ball, man. That's all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what you do over the weekend? Anything special?
Mother's Day, man.
Okay, talk
Mother's
about
Day,
it. Talk
you know
about
what I
it.
mean?
Shout
Make
out
sure
once
my-
again. Forgot to do it last week, but forgive us for that. But shout out to all the mothers, all the amazing mothers you are. As I said, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you had a wonderful holiday weekend. Especially Mother's Day.
Right.
But what did you do with yours, brother?
I chilled with my wife, man. We went to some friend's house.
Okay, that's cool.
Nice little thing. We hung out. Long as she was good and felt relaxed, that's all
Yeah.
I cared about.
Good.
That's it.
Good. Saturday was all right too and all that.
Saturday was cool. We did the same thing. We was out moving around. Did a
Okay.
little shopping, little little window shopping and a little shopping. That's how I went, Something
Okay.
like just got out the house, literally said we gonna be. You ever say, no, just run to the store with me. You just gonna be in and out.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
how
next- and then
that's
next-
how most of our
The next
trips
thing
go
you
now.
know, you was out for 6 hours, but you ain't even realize it
Yup.
was 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's how it
I
went
want to tell you that it didn't happen, but it
Yeah,
did.
that's how it went.
It's a
Saturday.
mentor, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. It was cool, but it's just that's what happened.
There's a lot of other things in the world that can bother you.
Oh yeah,
You're just going out with your ladies, just having a good time,
Right.
unbeknownst to how long y'all gonna be.
Right.
That ain't one of them.
that don't
You know what I
really-
mean?
don't
So
really
that's
matter.
cool. I'm glad you had a good time. Same thing Saturday. Like you said, bruh, try to bust a few moves, get a few things done that you can't really get done through the week.
Right.
Sunday, like you said, this weekend really was just kind of zeroed in around
Mother's Day.
Day.
Yeah.
And once again, like you, man, it was all about whatever my ladybug wanted to do.
Right.
Which turned out being, shout out to Mom and Pop. They had something at the crib, and we went over there. It's always nice to break bread with the family.
Right.
We did that. Hung out, laughed, had a good time. Like I said, recognized the moms. It was beautiful. They seemed happy and satisfied, so that meant we all was happy and satisfied.
Right.
And that was the extent of it. Got to catch a show that you put me on to. We kind of binged that. No, we ain't finished it though. We got a couple episodes left, but the joint Forever on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great show.
I actually started watching it last night straight through because I was in and out the room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You
My
said
wife
sis
had
was
it
already
on,
in the
and
flow
yeah,
of
she
it.
was watching it,
Yep.
and I don't know which episode she was on. How many is it? 8?
I believe it's 8.
Yeah.
Because we
But I
watched
don't know
three, and then we got 2 left. So yeah,
I don't know.
8.
I don't know how many episodes she had already was in.
Uh-huh.
Then I went out the room, came back in. It was another one was on.
Right.
Then I went out, ran to go to P.F. Chang's, pick up the
Had to
food.
bust some Google, grab some grub.
Yep, came
I got you.
back, and it was and it was still on, and then like after that one, I think it went off. So I seen pieces.
Okay.
And but I've noticed it is times that certain shows you can miss a gap and still catch it right.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I feel like that was one, but I want to watch it in its entirety straight through.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of Myra Brocker Kill.
Yeah.
She always makes good shows. She had this one show, man, that got canceled because of whatever was. You know how sometimes there be some forms of controversy behind the scenes, whatever it was. But
It's always something, brother.
yeah, but it was
You can't be in this world without some form of controversy. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Somebody's going to also always create something to try to throw off your rhythm.
Right, and that show was called.
I think Regina King actually produced that first one, the first episode.
Yeah.
It shows it right at the end, whoever the producer. I want to say it was Regina King.
Or she directed it.
Directed it. She might have directed it. Yeah,
she's done everything
directed it. Yep.
In film. But
you're right.
The show Love Is that she had, I don't know if you got to that part yet, but I do know this much. It was the guy that's actually playing the young lady on the show. What was her name on the show? You had Justin, you had Keisha.
Keisha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keisha's dad, he played on the show Love Is.
I don't know nothing about her father.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's what I said.
That's why I said, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said, the dude that's playing. Yeah,
I don't
know. But
no.
That show Love Is, I just wish it would have developed. I think it only had like 1 or 2 seasons. But it was like, but something happened. But it was, in my opinion, it was almost like the full series version of what Forever type was. And I think it came on like OWN or something like that. You know what I mean? Back then.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those shows, but it just didn't.
It just ain't hang around.
It ain't hang around.
Yeah. Sometimes, man, things be too positive, right? Or they be too good. I mean, there's a few shows that I gave up on, not because they weren't good, but at some point or another I got preoccupied with other things.
Yeah.
But that's what this weekend consisted of. Like I said, we got 2 episodes left.
Right.
Caught a couple of them. So shout out to you and Sis for actually putting that on the radar. I had seen it, but I didn't circle back to it.
Right.
But here we are now with a new week, as we say, man, new episode and new conversations. You know what I mean? So I'm glad everything worked out well and everybody had a great weekend with Mother's Day. Once again, to all of us that our mothers that are in heaven, it was bittersweet because you always got to deal with it. In the same token that you thank God that you had a mother that you actually that cherished you and you cherished her. So even acknowledging them.
This was the first year.
I did well.
Me too.
I'm honest with you, man. I really did. I did good, man.
I didn't post her because I think that would have triggered me crying, and I ain't really want to cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
absolutely.
But I think why I also had a good day is because in other years, whether I had to run out this way, do this or that, I had like a brief alone time. And that's when it would happen.
That's when it would happen, yeah.
So all weekend,
me
and Lee was together. Like the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so with her just being right there all day, it just had me in a different mode.
Absolutely.
Because we was laughing and joking and doing all types of, so your mind is just in a different different thing. You know what I mean?
You can consistently, you know what I mean, as they say, the time goes on, you develop strength in certain things. And you also kind of know what triggers certain things, so you kind of know how to navigate it a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. But, bro, like we've said before, we had a great relationship. That's what we miss. We had a bunch of conversations about things that we were accustomed to, just being able to have certain kind of outlets with Mom and stuff like that, and all the things that led up to it. And, if I had to say I had a close moment, it wasn't actually on that day. It was actually, as crazy as it sounds, I went to go get a gift.
Yeah,
for my wife, and the lady was like, "Oh, who's she shopping for Mom?" And I was like, "Nah." And so it caught me like half a second. Then I was cool. I mean, I was cool. But it was just like for a second, it dawned on you, I'm not getting anything for her.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then when she asked me, and then the lady caught my expression and said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I said, "Nah, not for my mom." And she realized the way I said it. You know what I mean? So, but no, I did well.
Yeah, bro. Well. And it's just speaking on Mother's Day, man. Like when your mom's not here, you start thinking about all the other good moms you know, and just you want to tell them Happy Mother's Day and stuff like that. But what keeps you really good is you focus as a man on the other most important mom.
Of course.
And in your life, which would be your wife. And then when you look at that and you see that, you say, she's happy that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. So that's why it was a beautiful thing, and like I said, they were pleased, so I was pleased.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just what it is, So things going on in the world, bro. We chop it up all the time about various different things.
Right.
One of the things we discussed was, I guess, Diddy's thing is kicking off. There was a situation where last week, by Friday, they were supposed to have all of the jurors selected with the alternates and 3 extras. It didn't develop. And then, you had Monday that came today, the time of recording this video, and they went through the process of dwindling everything down to get it because they really wanted to kick the trial off, today. To start opening, I guess, arguments or whatever they call it at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's kicking off. It's a lot going on. Obviously, bro, there's conversations about, witnesses and different things that's going to materialize. It's going to be a long, drawn-out thing. But it was one lady that made a statement about it. I guess she's covering, I forget, I think her name is like Melanie King or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she's covering it from, the information that she's receiving.
Right.
And she's like, this case is going to be more about than just Diddy in a situation of what he's alleged to have done. Mm-hmm. It's more a case about power.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, right? In the world, like, there's a lot of things like that. You know what I mean? Diddy's case was just happened to be one of those things. And you think about the situation of power and where these things may go in terms of, with him, there's things that are going to test the will of a lot of different things, right? They're missing a witness already. There's a witness. Witness number 3. They don't know who that witness is.
Right.
They were here, and now they don't know where they are. There's a lot going on with it. I'm quite sure this is going to be an ongoing conversation, but I just wanted to address.
So a witness went missing.
That's what it said. Witness number 3. To be specific, like they know the witness, but they can't materialize the witness right now. With that being said,
he's not missing. You just saying
they don't know where that person is. They can't produce that person. You know how they got the witness, so they got different people that'll change their initials, they'll change certain names. Cassie's the only one that I know that's actually using her real name to be able to actually, in terms of her testifying and all those things.
Yeah.
But anyway, long and short of that situation, this is going to be, like she said, a situation of power. This is more about power than anything else. Mm-hmm. Diddy's involved in this situation.
I said this something like this the other day.
But I think that he's in a peculiar position because they want to test the power. And my thing is we kind of piggybacking off what we discussed last week about Shannon Sharp. For years, Diddy was able to kind of live the life he wanted to live, right? He was able to do everything he wanted to do, freak off parties, all that stuff that we talking about, all these different things. Freak-offs. And all of a sudden, people started to develop a situation where they start saying, well, I don't see nothing that's... Man, if he freaky, freaky. If that's what he's into. But then when you start looking behind that situation and be like, look, y'all don't understand. They trying to get to him because they know that there's some powerful people that's playing in that. Like, they were trying to make a statement about how certain people just up and left the minute that they was going after Diddy. Like, Steve Harvey was just gone. Like, Steve Harvey on the radio. What are you talking about? Oh, man, Ashton Kutcher, he was just out of here. What are you talking? Ellen DeGeneres, man, she jumped on the first thing smoking up out of here. But she had her own situations that she was dealing with. Power. This is going to be an interesting case.
So you think when the names came out, they was just blowing smoke?
Which names?
Like when they was naming the names of the people that was out of there.
I think that what they wanted to do is they wanted to paint the picture because, once again, I'm telling you, this is a situation of power. It doesn't help when you got, let's just say, witness number 2, who is somebody who used to work for him. That's not important enough. And I'm not trying to downplay the person, but to them it's not important enough.
So they say,
but if I make it seem
somebody who got some power,
I'm saying the witnesses are people who not. They could have been people that work for him. Could have been sex workers. Any of those people. What I'm saying is when you start putting other names like Steve Harvey, Ellen DeGeneres, you know what I mean, Ashton Kutcher, you need TD Jakes. You need star power people when you're trying to actually make it a case more about power,
right,
than a situation of just what he's alleged to have done.
Right.
It's kind of piggybacking once again with Shannon Sharp with that situation. We, Shelly and all that type of stuff. We still don't know who Shelly is.
Yeah.
If you saw Shelly today, you wouldn't know.
Shelly watched the Porch podcast too. I know she do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you swing around and look at the reality of what's going on with the power side of the situation, right?
Yeah.
When you looked up, all of a sudden you looked up and you realized that he was getting ready to get a mega deal, they had to find something. This is why they'll dig up different things and say, Cat Williams tried to warn him. Mm-hmm. This person tried to warn him. They got to go find names that have enough energy and power and kind of, you know what I mean?
To make it even
that can give it some volume, right. Give it some body, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see where this is going. You know what I mean? I don't have a dog in this race. You know, at the end of the day, whoever
dog
was
or
wrong,
horse
or horse or any of those things. But I just hope that people at the end of the day, whatever's going on with it, man. You just want justice for that situation.
Right. I was about to say, what would you want the outcome to be?
I mean, I think what's going to come to light is there was more people involved than him. That's what's going to come to light. And I think what they want to do now is they want to expose a lot more people than just Puff. I think what's going to unfortunately happen with him, if I had to look into the crystal ball of the future, I don't know if this works out well for him.
Now, I think he's going to be all right.
Okay.
For some reason, I just do.
Okay.
Because I still don't understand what's the big deal. Like I was telling Lee the other day, the worst thing was the Cassie situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get around that. The video.
That's the worst known thing.
Yeah. That's the worst thing. And I'm not saying that's cool at all. But freak off parties, I still don't understand.
Yeah. Like if he came out, right, bro, and he said that
I
live an alternative lifestyle, or I live freak off party lifestyle. I'm with that. There's a whole level of, because, bro, Gene Deal, all these other people, they giving up all kind of stories.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna be the person here to actually, give them stories any extra energy of life. But I think once again, it's like, I think the impression is, y'all think he was at these parties by himself?
He definitely was.
He might have been the host.
The point is, too.
But we going to get to some other people.
Some people liked it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, at some point or another, you got to look at it from the perspective.
Some people, because guess what? They went back. That's just like my boy. That's like my boy was saying. He was like, he said, I believe Bill Cosby did everything they said he did, right?
See.
Right? He said, but what I don't believe is a motherfucker remember 40 years later. But you ain't remember the day after. I ain't gonna say which one of our homies said that. You know what I mean? You probably know which one.
No, you weren't too bad.
Nah, I ain't gonna say
that state evidence is so deep inside of you, man.
Then
state witness.
Then lead the bitch with the. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yeah, you wake up with pineapples in your ass. Wait, baby, who woke up with pineapples in there?
That's a lot. Now we bringing fruit into the. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you know what it is? It's that mentality that ain't nothing new.
Ain't nothing new.
I asked that question before. I said, well,
what's the difference between
him and Hugh Hefner? What's the difference? You think that everybody at the Playboy Mansion?
Hef paid. He paid.
Yeah.
The dues, man.
Yeah.
He paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, get that, and you get blow pop. So
like
that's how Kirk Cousins keep, because he was the kid that was at that.
Yeah, Kirk got it. Yeah. But even that's why they all of a sudden say, like, you know what I mean? Y'all liked it before when Puff was saying take that.
Yeah.
Now y'all know what it mean. It was like, why would y'all do that, man? That man made a lot of money off of that, and we all said it. We was running around here saying take that to him.
Right.
Who's doing it?
The thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand what the real charges are.
So
that's what I don't understand.
So it's like a racketeering. So they got, you know what I mean? So They got racketeering, I believe it is.
Oh, human trafficking.
Human
all that.
trafficking.
Okay, yeah, I do remember now.
You know what I mean? Because you moving people from state to state.
Yeah, but I think they playing the technicalities real strong.
So I think what it is they've known about the freak party situation for a long time.
Yeah, it's almost cult-like though, and that's what they on.
Oh, okay,
They might be doing it. They might be doing. What's my man name?
Who?
Waco.
I know what you're talking about. I forget his name.
Jeffrey Dahmer? Not Jeffrey Dahmer.
Nah. Whole different situation.
Wake, not Jim Jones, because that was another one that
Dipset.
Yeah. Nah. Waco, hold on. Wait.
Anyway, the point is this, bro.
Yeah.
I think that they, you know what I mean, with the charges that they have, what it is like you said, how do you attach things to those charges and make them have to wait? I told you, it was an attorney that made a statement. He said at any other kind of time he was in a situation dealing with any kind of RICO or any kind of racketeering type of situation, you know what I mean? He said it was never one person that was involved.
Right.
Like, there was always, you know what I mean, levels to it. There were multiple people who were involved in a situation like that. It was a real, like, enterprise, organizational type of situation. And now you look at this, and let's just say, for instance, like I said, with Diddy, if he is, the person he was having these parties, we ain't gonna sit up here and act like that wasn't the case. He was throwing these all-white parties. People was coming to him, bruh. It was different.
David Koresh.
Okay. It was different.
Also known as Vernon Wayne Howe. Yeah.
Like, they found a list. I don't know if you watched this lady. I can't think of her name right now. The list of like what you got to be able to, like, meet the standards you got to be able to meet to get into the party. Like, if you was a woman, you couldn't be over 140 pounds. You know what I mean? You had to wear shorts that showed the bottom of your butt. You had to be younger. It's a whole list. It's a whole list. Now, I don't know if that's a real list or not. Like, you know what I mean? Somebody could have just made this list up. I don't know. But there's a list of things. So it's funny because...
What was the lady's name you say?
She be on a lot of stuff, bro. I had to show it to you. She funny too. Nah, I ain't gonna say funny, but her mannerisms, the way she talk. If I said her name right now, word is mine, you'll be like, oh, I seen her before. I don't remember the lady's name. But you know what I'm saying? Good. But anyway, the point in that situation is that, like I said, the pup turned around and said, look, I threw parties that people came to and they enjoyed themselves. Like he said before, you know what I mean? There's an after party to the party. There were some people that stayed. Mm-hmm. There were some people that indulged in other things. There were some people who enjoyed those things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so because of that, he threw parties. Now, I think that it became...
Powder and heat. That's what it was. Powder and heat.
Why would you do that, man?
For some of them, that's what it was.
You don't know that,
powder
man.
and...
You putting that drug in there. You don't know if it was no powder and heat. We heard about baby oil.
We knew. And we knew. Oh, okay.
What's the drug?
So you take baby oil and put it with heat.
Now you're a chemist. You did all of that in 2-3 minutes, man.
But I'm just saying.
You said powder heat. Now you combining baby oil.
They said the rooms had to be hot. They used to be real hot in the
room.
room.
Who said that? They go they again.
Yeah.
Who's the they?
It was warm in the room.
You the one. How do you know how warm it was in the rooms where the freak offs was going down? My brother. Koresh. Do not mess up the name.
Powder and heat.
So if you was in there and you was hot, maybe you was on the side of the room that had all the powder and heat.
You want to know who was in the room?
No.
Leonard.
Yeah,
Leonard.
That sounds accurate. That sounds about right.
Let's go, Leonard. Come here, come tell the story, Leonard.
Leonard, if you come over here, I promise you, I'm going to pay your ticket back, brother.
Yeah.
You walk over here if you want to, Leonard. I promise you. Yeah. Don't do it, man. Don't let E. E got you in everything now. Now
Leonard was in the room, man.
You don't know who was in that room. I'm trying to save you from the situation.
There.
Why would you admit to that?
I was there.
You was at the freak off? It's on. Why would you do that? This is a whole nother show now.
Nah.
Yeah, because this is a really
When was they having a freak off?
I don't know. Oh. See how I did that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I wasn't there.
No, you can't do it now, bruh.
I can do whatever I wanted to.
At the freak-offs, but not in the show. You done already admitted to it. Why would you do that, man? He said it was heat,
powder and heat.
Powder and heat. Why would you do
Ciroc? With rock? You know what I mean?
You know what it is? I know what it is we at a different age and stage in our life. You had broke something down to me earlier, man. Shit, his brother, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't even know the brother's name. A little video I seen.
How did he break it down, y'all? This is why I know.
So this is how he broke it. He broke it down. He broke it down to everybody, explaining to him that, it's ranges when it comes to young men.
Mm-hmm.
He said from 8 to 14.
Okay.
Them the little ones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what they is.
Now go on, don't do what you do.
Yeah. Them the little ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
From 15 to 25. Them the YNs.
Oh.
Them the YNs.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
This is what he said. And I'm going to see if y'all agree. He said from 26 to 34. So he said it too. 34. Them big bros. Them the big bros.
Right. Big bros. I got you.
From 35 to 44.
Yeah.
That's unking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
45 to 55, the upper 50s.
Yeah.
Them the OGs.
Okay. I can understand. I can dig it.
Then he said, once you get in the 60s and 70s, just respect your elders. That's all. Just respect your elders. That's what he said. Now, I do agree. So, it's funny because before I even seen the video, and DK sent me the video. Shout out
DK. Shout out to bro.
Yeah. He sent me the video. Me and you was already talking about Unc status.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I already know. I didn't realize when I entered.
Let's get in that conversation, man. That's the whole conversation.
When I entered.
Oh, you didn't realize you were becoming into Unc status.
I was there, bro. I was fully in. Didn't even know.
So we covered the fact that there was no such thing as a YN when we were quote unquote YNs.
Yeah.
We don't even remember that. You know what I mean? You were just either a young man. You know what I'm saying?
You called me and DK little ones.
But y'all was doing it well. There's a difference. So it's like so I'm gonna say this though, and that was just part of a song. That wasn't really who you guys were.
Yeah.
They're walking around here like a badge of honor. Like they said Jim Jones is the oldest YN. You know what I mean? So I
don't really think he is. That's just people's opinion.
He don't call himself that.
Right.
People are referring to that. But what I'm saying to you is this, right? Life does work that way. It's ironic because, yes, you don't know when you getting promoted. Like, you don't know when you graduate from certain things to be like, like, for a person to sit back and take the age ranges that he did. And when you really think about what you just said, bro.
That's it.
Yeah, I really am like, he's really right.
Yeah.
Right? And he broke him down. I don't know him all like you knew him. But the point in that situation is it ended with just respect your elders.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, that's just respect your elders. But it was funny.
So what? What range you in right now?
I'm an OG.
Yeah.
But
there you go. He admitted it. I'm unking them still.
But the thing about that, right, is, you get proud to be known as an unc, as an OG.
Oh, yeah, that's me. You living
an elder. And the one that you said, who you said was before unc?
Big bro, no.
So what's funny is, when you really look at life for what it's worth, that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Right? I would say that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go through phases of your life where, you start off and you're considered a young man coming into the world trying to figure things out.
Right. And
then your experiences should lead you to the point where you can kind of look back and say, little bro, because you big bro at that point. Mm-hmm. These are some of the things I experienced, man. You know what I mean? You may do it different. Well, that might not be your path, but I just felt the need to share this with you. Then when you get to Unc is like obviously at that place and space where you understand, you know better. You know what I'm saying?
Unc.
Big bro is where you show better. To me, Unc is when you know better.
Yeah, I think Unc, when I was out there in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was like early in Unc status.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I realized where I felt at, because I was single at the time, I felt like, when it came to a certain age group of women, I'm like, it ain't even weird if I chill with the mom or the daughter. When you hit a certain Unc status, it didn't seem, and I was looking, and I'm sitting there like, that's crazy. That's when you at that midway point. So you balancing out,
right?
Evening out.
No
this
question.
is the reason why they always talk about. Think about his chart. The age that they usually talk about stuff like for people, everything. Oh, 40, the 40-40 club. It's always the 40 club.
Right.
And then you celebrate every club.
Milestone.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah. I
would say so.
I say it's probably the biggest, in my opinion. Then 50 is big. You know what I mean? But, but 40 is something that people make a big deal. 50, some people just like, I'm going away from my 50, but 40, if people still want parties.
Yes.
It's a lot of people still want parties.
Yes.
52,
yes,
but
yes,
really the 40,
yes.
they still want parties, right?
Yes.
But with my man Chart, that's mid-unk right there.
It is.
So that's kind of like the balance of life.
It is.
And understanding.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
So you start to develop. Now, if you look up scientifically how they look at the chart when a man fully becomes a full-grown man, like mentally and everything.
That's right.
It's age 42 when he fully matures, they said.
Okay.
And it's like 30, it's like 40 or 42.
Is that real? Is that real?
Scientifically, that's what they're saying.
You
know what I mean? No, seriously. Let's Google it. I Google it for
that's
yeah.
Could you please do that?
Yeah, P, because CP.
No,
P think
it's not CP nothing. Like you telling me his number, I'm just asking.
How old?
Yeah.
How old
is? You gonna lie? You gonna
a man?
Real.
When?
Yeah. He fully developed.
He fully matures.
Fully mature. Yeah. Live on the air right now.
Yeah, we looking right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, he's doing the research, y'all, because he's known for this. He's known for.
What was the time they showed him? Man, fully at what age is?
Because he spoke. He's confident. He's confident.
Nah, bro, I seen it already.
Yeah,
man.
I believe it. I ain't trying to play you. I'm just asking in case other people want to know who the scientists were. That's all I was just trying to figure it out.
According to a study conducted in the United Kingdom, men do not become emotionally mature until 43.
Okay. That's close enough.
Right?
You okay.
40 years.
Well, you said 42.
Right? But here it is. I got to correct myself, though. It says, this is not scientific evaluation of maturity because that is largely dependent on social constructs.
Right.
The study relied on surveys to determine what men and women consider mature, how they felt about the maturity, and whether they believe the opposite gender was mature at a certain age. The results of this study concluded that men are not considered mature until approximately 43 years of age. Okay. And women, I see another chart, they said women was 32 though.
So, which is funny because I guess with them, does it work in the reverse? Not in reverse. Is it the other way? Is it big? Is it big sis? Is it auntie?
Oh yeah, I think.
And then OG the same thing,
I think
right?
It's the same thing.
And then disrespect your elders. So what would they be, right? I know it's gonna seem like a weird question to ask. Because they don't fall underneath the quote unquote the YN element, right?
No.
So what would
the YN they'll be young ladies.
So they YLs. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever says that.
No.
Okay. But because of their view to be able to mature earlier.
They'll probably call them hot girls.
That's what it was. That's what they was calling them.
Hot girls.
You decoded. You just broke it down.
So it'll be from 8 to 14.
Yeah.
That's baby.
What's cougar age?
That's baby girl.
Oh.
Baby girl. Just your niece, your daughter, your lover.
What's the age?
8 to 14. Instead of little, it's
Go ahead,
baby girl.
Go on, do it. Go on, do it,
15 to 25.
Yeah.
Nah, they range can't be that long. Nah, because I don't want a hot girl, 15-year-old, moving around and no time.
We didn't want them to be the other things. Right. You ain't putting the stigma on them crazy, bro. You just breaking it down.
I'ma say 15 to 18.
Okay.
Because
they mature earlier.
Right. 15,
based 18, on that status. I'm 15, not saying it because everybody,
15 to 18.
Right.
I don't even know what to call them. Because I said they was baby girl.
Yeah.
Now they.
Yeah. Now they little mama.
Nah, not even little mama. They 15 to 18. They big baby. Big baby. I call them big babies. Because I say that now.
When's the princess age?
That's princess. There you
princess.
Go. 15, 18 is princess.
Princess.
18 to 25 is usually when that hot girl.
HG.
Yeah, thing.
Hot girls.
Comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, now,
Yeah.
26.
Wait,
26. What you doing over there, man?
when you talking to somebody and they do that, you be like, what are you looking for?
Hey, yo, stop it.
When they trying to predict your next words.
Yeah. But listen,
Go ahead.
26 to 34, they big sis.
Yeah.
They big sis. But big sis never really leaves because then when they get when they get to 35,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
To 44,
Yeah.
they auntie.
What's the age range?
35 to 44, they auntie.
I think that's hidden. I think
Yeah.
you're right there.
Right?
I think you're right there.
Then 45 and up. No, 45
to 55.
to 50. 45 to 50. Right?
Yeah.
They big sis. The ones before them is sis. They big sis.
Okay.
Right? 45 to 50.
Okay.
Right? 50 to 60. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I ain't see you. They definitely that. But they mad them. They mad them.
I don't think they want to be mad.
Mad them.
Because that's like Lady Pimp, man.
No, they gangster though. Like they done seen something.
You talking about Madam from
No. A mixture of that.
Okay.
Of her.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not freestyling.
I
with this
think
shit.
when they hit
now,
Auntie.
60?
Yeah.
When they hit 60,
Yeah.
they mother.
So I was getting ready to say, I think they go auntie to mom.
Yeah.
I think they go auntie to mom.
Yeah, that's what they stick.
And then
so
from
you big
there,
sis, then it's auntie, then it's up to mom.
Then it's mom. Because if you ever look at it, they nurturers by nature.
Yeah.
So it's certain things that when they say to them, you know what I mean? It's like they're that person who, you know what I mean? Did you do such and such and such and such? They sound like a mom because they've been mothers, you know, some of them who have been blessed to be mothers. Like we just came off of Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And so we got a chance to sit around every phase of what you're talking about. Like when I was over there with I got my kids, I'm sitting there, I'm watching them age groups. Everything you just described. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Baby girls and your princess. You know what I mean? Then you had sis, and then you had big sis. You know what I mean? Boom. Like I seen that. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's cool because to me, I think that these titles come with a certain sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're not really saying that this is for everybody. What we are saying is this is usually the age group, those type of things.
Right. This is just what we took into into consideration, what we saw.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the reason why it is because it's a great thing, man. Like the concept, like we was talking about power, evolution. Yeah. We were talking about power, but more importantly, we talking about titles.
Oh, we're cool. Score.
You know what I mean? So the titles, like, you know what I'm saying, is
can't see it.
You know, yeah. But you know, that's E, man. He's that guy. When we do this live, he gonna be the barbecue joint. We actually doing a show, man. You know, we still can do it, man. That's what barbecue. You know? But anyway, the point I was gonna make is to say, you know what I mean? The titles, man, is what this is actually about. Titles, right? And owning up to these titles. Puff was known as a mogul before all of this developed.
Still is, man.
Right? Yeah, but there's certain things now that make it questionable.
He got that stink on him.
Anytime the legacy of a person becomes into question, then everything that's associated with that person is going to be in question.
Me and Chris were just talking the other day, and we was talking about everybody does, but people with power, politicians, your celebrities, and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. The one thing that's really important to them is their reputation.
Yeah, image.
Yeah,
reputation.
And then when and then even if they become, none of it was true. Sometimes, like he said, you can't never get that stink off you. It's just there.
I've been telling people all the time, it don't even have to be accurate at this point. If you're high enough on the food chain, or if you're high enough, you know what I mean, on the hierarchy of everything, all I got to do is send a negative image your way. And everybody else will run with it. Everybody else, you know what I mean, they'll draw their own conclusions, their own opinions in certain situations, and they'll run with that situation. You know what I mean? Like I said, titles, man. You know what I mean? Who we become. At some point or another, we was young men. Next phase, we came to the next phase, so on and so forth. And now we're being looked at as unks and OGs. You know, there's a certain level of when you move up to that title that you got to own up to, right? Whether you want to be that person or not, there's someone that's viewing you in a particular type of way. You know how many people who probably idolized Puff, who looked at him as a business tycoon and all the things that he was able to do. And here's the crazy part about it. He made some amazing things happen in the business world. Some amazing things. Then all of a sudden now everything becomes questionable because of the fact of what allegedly took place. Even if it's accurate. You know what I'm saying? So his status of being, or his title of being a mogul. Some people won't allow it to remain because they understand that it still took him to be who he was, to get the things accomplished. There's artists that we would have never met. There's people we probably never would have heard in certain situations had a person like Puff not took things and ran with certain situations.
At the same time, if he wasn't who he was, none of this would matter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who you are matters as much as what they're saying, right? Mm-hmm. If he wasn't who he is and he was just a regular person who had these kind of parties.
You know what happened?
No.
No, seriously.
I don't know what happened.
Nah, bro.
I said
all they're gonna do. Listen, bro. I'm telling you what happened. You ain't gonna do that. No, I ain't doing that no more. Nah.
This feels like
right.
that. This feels like
this
that.
ain't Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
I was on
Shay situation.
He was doing it.
Yeah.
But Tony's involved, P. That's why it sound like that.
Tony who?
Busby.
Yeah. This guy, man. Like
I found he put a name with the face. I forgot he was on one of the little TMZ joints.
Yeah.
They interviewed him a little bit.
Yeah. At the end of the day, nobody ever wants to admit when they were wrong. What I mean by that is at the end of the day, if any of this stuff comes to light that it's not accurate what they're saying, people still already got the scent on them. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you look at Shay, we was talking about Shannon Sharp. See, look, man, as established as he is, why wouldn't he be smart about how he move, who he deal with, right? In his sexual life or any of those things. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he make better decisions with it, right? Same question we asked when Plaxico Burress went out and he shot himself in the leg by mistake when he went to the club. Why are you around here carrying a firearm to protect yourself? If you got to go in certain places, strapped a certain type of way,
don't go nowhere.
Maybe you shouldn't be there. And that's the thing with these people. Like I said, both of these two gentlemen we talking about, and I'm not trying to say that age automatically makes you smart, but they both in their 50s. They're both in their 50s, bro. We just talked about OG status and all that kind of stuff. So imagine if your OGs, right, if you watching this right now, and your OGs are going through the scrutiny they go through, and you are YN, like they saying, or you are, you know what I mean? You uncle, you big bro. You looking like that. Look, because Unc is big bro to big bro.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big bro is big bro, is you know what I mean, vice versa to OG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In terms of the situation for Unc. Big OG is big bro to Unc.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying
OG?
is there you go. So that's what I'm saying. Right. So that's what I'm saying. So imagine this, bro. Like I said, it come down to titles and the things that we have. We earn these titles not based on just so much age, even though my man picked the age groups to be able to break it down. But we earn these titles by what we display, our actions. Because you can be an old fool, and nobody's going to look towards you for any kind of wisdom, any kind of knowledge, any kind of information. That's the difference. You think there's not still people out there, even with Puff being in question and the things that's on trial for right now, that wouldn't want to know some of his business strategies? They would still want to know that because he has success in the business world. Unfortunately, he's in a bad position now, but it doesn't look good for him and his status in terms of what he ranks in terms of OG. That don't look right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we got to be mindful that if we're going to carry these titles, bro, you said you didn't realize when you became Unc. And it wasn't just your age, because most people, they don't know how old you are until you share that with them. I've heard you, bro. I've been on the phone with you. I've been in person with you. And when you say how old you are, they'll turn around and be like, well, word? Because they can't see it.
They think I'm big bro.
Because, yeah, exactly, based on age. But what I'm saying is you carry yourself like Unc.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the point. Like, a lot of us, we got to be mindful of these titles. Mm-hmm. Whether we think we want them or not, we earn them.
What's the first thing you did what made you feel like I'm in Unc status? Like, you know, like, for example, when we got on that wave of actually smoking cigars and going to cigar
Absolutely.
lounges.
No question.
That's like
no question.
That's like an Unc move.
Yeah. You asked me
even
that.
though we was doing that in Big Bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I would say unc status, in my case, honestly speaking, I became an uncle years ago.
Yeah.
So I felt that as an actual uncle.
Yeah.
So like that. I never, in terms of peers, let's just say coworkers, using that for an example, because you work with different people, different age groups of people, right?
I became an uncle a long time.
Right. And so when you look at those things, you start saying to yourself, okay, for them to call me unc, what is it that they see in me? Like if you're a person that really pays attention to the titles that people call you by, when you call me big bro, what do you see? And in your case, it's different. I mean, we don't do that anyway. But if you said it, we're actually brothers. You know what I mean? But a person that is not blood related to you, when they look at you and go, "What's up, big bro?" There's something that you see. Are you just calling me that because I'm a little bit older than you, or do you see qualities in me that exemplify a person
I think it's a little of both.
Yeah.
Because we can't necessarily say where the mental is of the person that's talking to you.
Right.
But I do think the actual visual gives them that too. And then where they're at. Like how my man broke down the age. Like if somebody come to me and say big bro or unc to me, then they know that I don't know how old he is, but I know he's older than me.
I see why you're saying both.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I see why you're saying both.
That's what I'm saying. So I told you, like when the first time young boy, I'm sitting out there and this was crazy. Because this was made real crazy for me because I thought, like you say, he called me unc because I did some unc, like physically did some unc shit. Now you in a deep question now because, no, I went to this is what I'm saying. This is what's funny. I went to play ball.
No, I remember.
Yeah, and I was shooting. And they left their keys. I was like, yo, my man, that's your keys right there. He's like, oh, all right, yeah, thanks, unc. Now, did I look unc or did I do a move like unc?
I think go back to your answer. Go back to your answer.
A little bit of both.
I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think one thing is it. I don't think one thing is it.
I mean, if it look unkish on the court.
It could have. You got to think about it, bro. Like, think about style, right? The way that you dress. You don't dress based on the age, right?
Yeah, I dress like
you dress. No, but in general, what I'm saying is when you get dressed, I ain't even talking about to anybody else. When you get dressed, you don't think I'm putting on my own outfit today.
Nah.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? I don't think anybody thinks that way. Nah. I think when you look at it, you know what you want to present yourself as. So when you want to present yourself as a certain type of person, usually you reflect what you want to present yourself to be.
Right.
When you went to the court that day, you had no idea. It could have been anybody's keys. It could have been anybody's situation.
I know what it was, though. My shorts was bigger than theirs.
I mean,
you know what I mean.
See, right now you associate too many of the.
I had the Fat Five.
It's none of that. It's none of that. It's an essence, bro.
I believe
it's none of that. It's none of your balling shorts and none of that type of stuff.
But they was big as hell.
You could have had the same size shorts as them. They would have called you on. It doesn't matter.
I believe it too.
So yeah.
I believe that
you
too.
know it. That's why stop acting. Like, you still wear the Jordans. You still wear all the things that you wore when you were their age. Not all of it, but for the most part. I don't think you wear any awkwardly than what they would wear it right now.
We don't see it; they see it because it's in the essence. Like
I mean, maybe I can't argue the fact that what they see. I think they definitely see. I think
you're definitely right.
I think they see a combination of what you just said a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know.
They see all of those things combined. But I do think that what it is too is
definitely when I take my hat off.
It's the mannerisms. It's the way you carry yourself.
Absolutely.
It's the way that you know what I mean? It's the tone that you set when you enter certain rooms and you move in certain ways.
Certain things I talk to people about.
Absolutely. It's all of those things. And because of that, I think what we ultimately wind up finding is that these titles, once again, they're earned.
Here's the thing that I'm going to say about all of that. I think the greatest gift is knowing when you know you're at these levels, the power that you have at the time. Unc is a very good place to be, right? Because when you at Unc status, you got some wisdom, so you speaking. Mm-hmm. It's fresh. It's fresh. You want to share. It's fresh.
Yeah,
talking about it more.
Absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you still young enough to influence. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're young enough to influence. Yep. You look up and say, "Yo,
I got you."
Because to where they call big bro, you're a big bro to big bro.
Mm-hmm.
So he looking like my big brother doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You big bro.
Yeah.
Then when you look at who their big bro to the YNs, they were saying
Mm-hmm.
when they see, well, big bro respecting the hell out of Unc. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To them, they're looking at you like an OG,
Mm-hmm.
but you just at Unc level,
Mm-hmm.
according to what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But Unc level is always that level where you can actually teach.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're still learning.
Yeah.
So you at that. That's why I say it's that balance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a great place to be, great point
Yeah.
to make, bro. I think that what we do is that we earn them. We earn these titles. And what I mean by that is the reason why I want to say it that way is because I don't want it to be misconstrued. You don't just age into the next title, you earn it.
Right.
There's things that you display. There's the behaviors. There's way that you change. People like to see that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that there's somebody who calls you each one of those titles that watched you develop in ways that allowed them to feel comfortable to call you that.
Yep.
Because they'll find somebody that's your exact same age, and they won't call them on.
Nope.
Because they have no value. They'll look at them and be like, look at this.
Look at this.
You understand what I'm saying?
Stupid.
Right. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, you
Dumb,
say to
man.
yourself, you know, it's like, wow, he's actually older than me, but they call me on, they call him because it's not the age.
Right.
Because like I said, they don't know. Right? They don't know. They see you and they like what you got going on. And they want to be able to say that, you know, you somebody that they look up to. That's really where it comes from, a level of respect. You know what I mean? So I wear it like a badge of honor, even if I don't know when I'm, you know, until today, when you broke down the numbers, you don't know where you fall in the rank because, like I said, you wear it differently depending on the person who's looking. So that's the thing that it is with me. And that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, man. I
Yeah.
think that was fitting. Like I said, titles, man. Titles, you know what I mean? Once again, even with the situation with Puff, you know, mogul with Shannon Sharp, you know what I mean? Superstar, Hall of Fame athlete. You know what I mean?
And now, kind of like a voice.
And now a voice.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, right now in this moment,
Yeah.
he's looking like they both looking like men who made poor decisions in their 50s. And it's a shame because the legacy of who they are as people will get washed as if it wasn't nothing.
Well, Diddy ain't make those mistakes, so they say, in his 50s. The freak-off parties, they were saying back in like 06.
And even with Shannon, there's some question marks of when these things transpired and started with him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, people don't deal with the framework of when they find out.
Right.
So it looks bad now, even though it may have been a time in their life where they made errors. Like you said, in Puff's case, it could have been when he was much younger, where if an OG or an unc was really talking to him, maybe he doesn't get to these places. So,
Oh, yeah, so, you know it's
might be a little bit different.
Right.
Right, you know what I mean? You want to do some questions, bro?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can ask me a couple of them, then we go to the end. Welcome to another episode of Questions.
This or That.
We're doing this or that today. We're going to get right to it, Diddy. He going to ask me some questions. Is he going to be this? Is he going to be that? But he don't know. I'm going to remix it tonight.
Skydiving or scuba diving? What you doing?
Just not going. Just not going, P. I don't want to skydive or scuba.
Great hair or great teeth, man? I ain't even, not this week, I ain't even got no time
Great
for
hair,
it,
man.
Great hair
Oh, great hair
or great teeth?
Great teeth. I thought you said gray hair or gray teeth.
I know.
That was
You
easy.
ran from my first question. You do it all the time. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Window or aisle seat?
Ow.
Neither aisle.
Throw that knee out. In this case, I got to piss. No climbing over nobody.
That knee though. But you got to move that knee out and out the way when they bringing the cart through.
Bring him in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I love the aisle seat, man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, most of the time, especially after I first had my surgeries, I needed to have an arm a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Carpet or hardwood?
Hardwood.
Trick question.
This is so in that case, carpet.
He said hardwood.
Yeah, come on,
That's what
P.
he's
That's some
into,
bull-
man. It's hard, man.
Now he had the Diddy freak off.
Roller. I never was there, but
Yes,
you
you
already
was.
admitted in
You
this
was there.
episode that
You
you
was
was
there.
there.
You was
And they can watch it as many times as they want. Hit the like button, subscribe button, share it to all your friends. Your favorite DJ was at the freak party, and he wasn't DJing.
Allegedly.
Pie in the face or slip on a banana peel?
Pie in the face. This don't slam. Like, why you trying to break my nose and shit. Just mush it up there.
Hot sauce toothpaste or pickle juice face wash? Man.
Which one you picking?
Yeah, I'm going to do the pickle.
All right.
I'm going to do the pickle. I can me and hot sauce.
He said.
Pause.
But which one you doing? Yeah. I'm going to do the pickle.
Yeah, because I didn't know you was going to see the difference. You threw the question back at me. You know what I'm saying? Elephant-sized squirrel or a squirrel-sized elephant. You got to fight it. We ain't talking about 100 men versus a gorilla. One DJ versus one of them. Elephant-sized squirrel or a squirrel-sized elephant.
Squirrel-sized elephant,
Yeah,
man.
I was about to say, it's not a test. Come on,
Yeah.
that's easy.
But he fast, just like a squirrel. Now he jumping on you.
Okay, you picked him, man.
And he poking you in the ear.
I'm not taking nothing elephant-sized. I wouldn't care what they picked. A snail. I don't want no problems with that situation.
You know how scary that look? An elephant-sized snail?
Yeah. Sneeze confetti or hiccup bubbles. Anytime you sneeze, or you go hiccup some bubbles.
Give me a sneeze and confetti. I kind of do that now anyway. Sometimes I can't catch it all, man.
Okay. Sticky hands or slimy feet. You got to have one.
Oh. So the slimy feet gonna be cold, and I hate my feet cold. But my hands can't be sticky because I'm DJing. So I gotta have slimy feet, man.
Okay. All right, cool.
What about you, man?
Sticky hands is tough because everything you touch. I mean,
you just go like this.
I'll probably say sticky hands.
I can't do sticky hands.
Only because, they ain't say we couldn't have no gloves or nothing like, you know what I mean? But I think even if you put socks on slimy feet, they're going to still be weird.
Sticky hands.
Think about it. When we was kids
How
at
you
one
gonna wipe
point,
your ass?
that's what I'm saying. You could wear gloves. But as a kid, remember we played with glue, bro? And we would put glue on our fingers? Eventually,
but the gloves going to be stuck in the inside when you try to take them off, and it's going to be dookie on the glove. That's what I'm saying.
So now you wash the gloves.
They not really never that clean.
What's not really that clean? The gloves?
Yeah, when you wash them.
Why not? You don't know how to wash the gloves?
You got to know how to wash gloves. But I'm just saying. Never mind, man. That's just cool.
You know what I mean? Or put another pair of gloves over those gloves. Like, there's options. You only got one.
Now you got big hands.
Nah, hey, come on, man. You ain't gonna OD the gloves. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Clown nose, man, or Groucho glasses, man. Which one you rather have, man?
Groucho glasses, that clown. Who wanna walk around with a big red nose? Homie don't play that. Like, you look crazy as hell.
Man, there's different people, man. This point in your life, man, you're more of a spicy man or a mild man?
Mild.
I know. Yeah. It's real life too. It ain't got nothing to do with no games either over here. So if you don't play with me, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what I might have, my wings, boneless or bone-in wings, paws. You know what I'm saying? Mild. Like your sandwiches, man, with the crust on them or crust off.
I like the bread slightly toasted, though.
Yeah.
Even if it's a peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, date day. You just out. You said you was hanging out with sis. You always doing y'all 1-2 on Saturday. Street food or fine dining?
That's where I'm at. And the only reason why I say that is because
New York.
I do street food all day.
Okay.
But I've done fine dining as well. But I'm fine.
You've done both. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you out. Y'all on the move.
Street food.
Okay, street food. I agree with that. I'll second that. I'm on the move. We trying to make the most of the day. Fine dining, I feel like I need to dress a certain way. I feel like I need to kind of get in a whole different kind of, flow.
We just vibing and chilling.
Right. Street food all day long. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Pepsi or Coke, man?
Coke, man. Born and raised.
Cane or just soda? You can make it weird. Or not. I said cane. It could be candy before that. I
ain't messing with no canes.
Thank you.
Canes,
I had to bail you out because really you made it weird.
No, I ain't messing with no
canes. You said did it? That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Don't be weird, man.
Yeah. Mexican food or Chinese food, man?
Mexican.
Bagels or donuts?
Bagel.
Still water or sparkling water? You ain't like this speed round, baby.
I like both of them, but depends whether I go still though.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, before we get out of here, toilet paper on the roll that rolls over or rolls under?
Under.
Oh man, you all right? I agree with that. When you pass it, man, he cool, y'all. He all right. He all right. He made it. You can take us out of that joint, bro. The lightning round for you. Try to throw something back. Oh. Don't do this, man. It's weird.
Yeah, man. What y'all? Thank y'all for tuning. This is episode 202. We glad y'all tuned in. Y'all can listen to us on all your favorite podcast and streaming sites like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Red Circle. Anywhere you hear your favorite podcast, you can catch the Porch Podcast at D-A Porch Podcast. Pete, tell them where they can see us.
Catch us each and every week right on our YouTube channel at the Porch Podcast. If you have not done so already, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure to leave comments because, we review them, we look at them, and we like to talk back. As he says each and every week, you know what I mean? You can find us on various different platforms where you've been going, and we appreciate it when you tune in. As he just said, it's been episode number 202. We look forward to seeing y'all next week, and as we say each and every week, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you. Y'all be blessed, man. Be safe out there. OGs, big bros, princesses, aunties.
Hot gals.
And all the other titles. Y'all be good out there. Remember, man, people are watching, man, so set the tone. Y'all be blessed, man.
All right, y'all.
Peace. Who on the porch? Let's go.